To learn how you can get into the exciting world of federal government construction, schedule a Zoom with me at GCExperts.com/Zoom.
So I did watch all the videos that you sent yesterday and this morning. I was cruising through majority of them. Uh, I think the basic knowledge that I got out of it is some of the folks, especially the guy that was in like roofing or the residential contractor, I think everybody was more geared towards how do I get those jobs? And from the beginning, they didn't understand the concept that you can get any job. You don't need to be restricted into your field or your state.
That's
So
exactly right.
that was a good eye opening for me as well. Um, I went through, I saw the programs about 5 grand, and then you get there's a system behind it that you built that you can automatically kind of queue in all the jobs and bid on them, kind of syncing all the jobs into one portal, which I really like because I'm very tech savvy, and I love technologies.
Yeah,
Uh,
we've even added an AI element to BidTrakker. I think we're up to BidTrakker 4.0. I think that video was on 3.0. But in 4.0, on the right-hand side, underneath the date that the job is due, there's a little robot. And when you click the robot, it opens up a new tab with an AI summary, photos from the job. I mean, it's really fantastic.
yeah, I mean, I think AI is going to make life a lot easier
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah. So I'll give the mic to you and let you tell me a little bit more.
Well, like I said yesterday, look, there's 30 years plus of information in this head, and the best way to get any of that out of it is just to ask a bunch of questions. There is no sales pitch in any of my Zooms. Um, it's really just to answer any questions anybody would have about what it's like to be a federal contractor.
Okay. In one of the videos, I noticed that you said that your wife helps you set up the sam.gov registration for you.
It's not helps me, or well, helps you. Yeah, but I don't get involved in that at all. I told her when we started GC Experts, I said, listen, there's going to be a bunch of guys that are going to want to go into federal contracting. And the barrier to entry is the SAM registration, and it's not intuitive. And so you have to become the world's greatest expert at getting people SAM registered so that is just not a hurdle. It's just you know, part of the path to becoming a federal contractor. And to her credit, she learned it inside, outside, backwards, forward. She's the best there probably ever was at it. And she's never failed, ever.
Okay. And is that included in the price of the package?
No, we only sell three things. At the end of that video with Michael, I talk about we have the workshop for 5,000, the SAM registration for 700, and the membership program, which is the BidTrakker, access to me, and all the tools, templates, and technology that we developed, such as CQC plans, technical proposals, daily reports, subcontract agreements, purchase orders, all the paperwork it takes to be a federal contractor.
Okay. Somehow I must have missed that. Okay, got it.
That's okay.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so 750 to set up, 5 grand for the program. And then from what I understand, it's only like 30 hours of just going through videos and just kind of understanding the basics of it.
Well, I wouldn't describe it that way. So the workshop was a live event. It was a 3-day event. It happened on a Wednesday, Thursday, and a Friday. And I was recording those events from 6 different camera angles, plus screen recording for slides and that kind of stuff. So it was edited live, as we talked about. And so what you're watching is basically from an empty seat in the room all the best angles of everything that's happening in the room, including reverse cameras that capture the people in the room. And so it's, 10 hours the first day, 10 hours the second day, and 7 hours or something the third day.
Okay.
And but you can pause it, pick up the phone, call me if you have any questions. You can rewind, watch a part again that maybe you didn't get the first time, or maybe You thought it was awesome, and you thought maybe I need to learn that, you know? So that's what it is today. It's
Yeah.
online. It's like Netflix. You just log in with a username and password.
Okay. Perfect. And then my other question is some of the bigger jobs, like the one I mentioned, like the roofing, siding, window job that's here in Mass in particular. Um, if I was to bid on a project like that, would you guys support in, putting this bid together? Because there's a lot that goes into it.
Probably not, because if you can imagine, I've got about 50 clients, and if all 50 were contacting me today to help them put together a bid, that, I teach people how to do all that. And then, if you have any questions about it, or if there's something in the specifications or in the drawings that you're not clear about, you can always pick up the phone and call me and we can talk about it.
Okay.
I've just found that over the last 15 years, once people get past the hurdle, look, the first bid you turn in, it's going to take several hours. But the 10th bid you turn in, some of them are going to take less than 15 minutes. And so you'll get better at it over time. I assure you of that.
Okay. And there was one particular video where somebody um, was talking about doing maintenance.
Mhm.
And you said you mentioned that you're not particularly into maintenance. That's not your gig, and you don't want to shine people away from it.
Yeah, that's the
Um,
thing. I don't want to tell people there's not money in it because I know there is. It just wasn't the kind of thing for me. You got to understand, if you watch enough videos of me, you'll figure out that um, I don't know, I'm aggressive. Let's use that word.
sure.
And I don't take shit from anybody, and what I don't like is getting into a relationship with the federal government, an ongoing year-long or 5-year relationship, where now all of a sudden it's, how you doing this morning, how was your weekend, how are the kids? That kind of shit drives me insane. And it's just a personality, it's just my personality. And but I will like the short jobs, get in there, do the job, get out, firm fixed price contracts, and then move on to the next one. There's 10,000 contracting officers out there.
Okay. But will we be having access to getting those maintenance jobs in
Oh yeah,
particular?
they're in
Okay.
BidTrakker because I know some people go after those. Absolutely.
Okay, yeah, because I'm looking to I have a lot of plumbers and electricians and stuff, and as the residential market is getting slower here, I know we have a lot of federal buildings, so I had my front
For
desk.
sure, you can put those guys to work up there, no problem.
Okay, all right, that's what I was curious about. And how does the system function? Like, is there a way to sort this out? Like, can I go through and sort out everything is available to me in Mass in particular, or New Hampshire?
No, I wouldn't allow you to filter. I wouldn't allow anybody to ever filter like that, because we're looking at, look, if you watch that video of BidTrakker, how long did it take to get the information in front of you?
It was pretty fast,
Define fast.
like seconds.
Seconds. Okay.
Yeah.
So, how long do you think it takes to read through 50 jobs and decide which ones you want to sync?
I tr
Minutes.
I tried to go through sam.gov. It was not intuitive.
No, sam.gov is, ugh, I'm a reasonably intelligent person. Would you agree with that?
Yes,
Why the hell would I invest $250,000 inventing my own system?
because their
Because
system sucks.
sam.gov sucks.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, look, you're looking at a guy that's bid over 20,000 contracts. I bid 20,000 solicitations over my career. And one thing I recognized over time, for absolute some certain, was that I only need two pieces of information right now if I'm going to decide to bid a job. Number one, I need to know, when is it due? Because if it was due yesterday, not interested. But number two, I need to know, what the hell do they want? BidTrakker was designed from the ground up to give me that information in seconds, like you said, in seconds. Okay.
mhm.
And so once I have that information in front of me, I can look at it and decide what I want to do next. Do I want to call a potential subcontractor in the area and talk to him about the job? Do I want to just bid it out of my own brain? Okay.
Okay. And my second, I should have asked this first. If I do the registration with your wife, right? Do you have to
Mhm.
register on sam.gov every single year,
You have to
repeatedly?
renew.
Okay, so you just hit a button, renew, and that's it.
Yep.
Okay. All right, that makes sense. Um, and so what this bid tracker system does is just showing you what's available at what time, what date. Is there a category system, or how do you determine what field you want to get into?
What interests you? I mean, to me, it's all interesting. That's why I say when I do everything from wind tunnels, water treatment plants to kitchen renovations. I mean, doesn't that pretty much cover the whole gambit? You know, I've done a wind tunnel
That's
for
true.
NASA. I've done a wind tunnel for, well, we talked about it, Natick.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I've done water treatment plants. The big one was at Tinker Air Force Base. That was a multi-million-dollar contract. Um, I did a $20,000 kitchen renovation for the National Park Service up in Colorado.
Wow.
The smallest
So
job I ever did was $7,000. The largest was 8 million.
holy crap. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty big. Is there anything simple on there to do, like deliver supplies or things like
No,
that?
not. I mean, it's not on BidTrakker. Once you're SAM registered, of course you can go after those. I just don't feel like those. That's where the money is because look, anybody can get SAM registered and try to sell paper to the federal government. Okay, that's not going to be highly profitable because it's simple. Look, there's 1.2 million companies registered with the federal government. 1.2 million.
Hmm.
Okay. They're selling everything from paper, cake mix, bullets, aircraft parts, you name it, wrestling mats, office furniture. Okay. But there's only 25,000 of the 1.2 million focused on the construction industry. What does that tell you?
Oh, I see. I gotcha. That's why you focus on that. Got it.
It's
Okay.
where the money is.
I just wanted to see if there was any filler that you can put in there, something easy to just pick up
Just
and
bid
do.
another job. I'll never forget when I was about 22, 23 years old. My dad had this 32-foot cabin cruiser boat. And we go and fill it up with gas, and it was $600 to fill that fucking thing. This is in 1995 money. Okay.
Yeah.
So probably $1,000 today to fill that boat with gas. Anyway, I'm looking at him horrified, thinking I couldn't even afford the gas to go into this thing.
Yeah.
Right. And he looked at me and he goes, I'll just bid another job. That stuck with me my whole career.
Yeah, yeah.
When you talk about filler, bid another job.
Right, right. You're right. So the more you bid, the more you're gonna get anyway, because yeah,
Absolutely.
the ratio of people doing it is a lot less.
That's right.
Okay. Have you
That's
ever
why
had
I
a
talk. Have I read a what?
have you ever had a problem filling a job? Like finding the right person to fill it?
I've had every single problem that you can imagine. Okay. And certainly I've had that problem. There's multiple ways to solve that. I'm only going to talk about one of them because I talk about in the workshop multiple ways to solve that. But one of the cleverest ways I ever came up with was a small town couldn't find a guy to do, I think it was either a roofing job or an electrical job. I can't remember which. But I called the local church, asked for the pastor, spoke to him, told him what I was trying to accomplish. And he said, Oh, yeah, call John.
That's good. That's awesome. Yeah, that's true. They do know everybody in town.
That's right.
Yeah, that's pretty clever. I like that. Um, okay, well, I mean, like I said, I watched a ton of videos. Um, I'm I want to kind of get into this as soon as possible. Okay. And I want to do the full thing. I want to get your wife to register.
Yeah,
pay for the
there's a button in
program.
there. It's a big, I think, orange or red flashing arrow that says, if you want to get Sam registered, click this button.
Because I think I registered on sam.gov, but I just don't know if I did it correctly.
It's worth
That
it to make sure that she's got you fully registered and, all the NAICS codes correctly. Yeah,
right.
we'll get you taken care
Okay, perfect. Yeah. I mean,
of.
I want to get this thing rolling. I'm probably going to be like the other guy that spent 24 hours watching the video straight. I've already canceled everything the next 2 days. I got to go pick up my truck from service, and then I'm coming back to just sit down and plow through this. So, um,
Well, and then when we get off the Zoom, I'll just fast forward those messages. You're going to get like 3 text messages in a row.
okay, perfect. Yeah. I just want to kind of speed right through it and see if I can get started with the bidding process
Oh yeah.
and, and see where this goes.
And I've got a tech guy. If well, you said you're a tech guy, but so you'll probably be able to get BidTrakker all set up on your own based on the instructions we give you. But I have a tech guy that will spend hours with you if you want, helping you get
Okay.
it all set up.
And all BidTrakker does is just taking all the GC work and putting it on one platform.
That is correct. It's a little bit BidTrakker. You got to understand, I made millions and millions and millions and millions and millions, hundreds of millions over our career. Okay. So when I sat down to set up BidTrakker, it was very important to me that it reflected how we were looking for work at our prime. So, what do I mean by that? I want you to imagine for a second that Sally is the purchasing agent for the aircraft parts. So she gets aircraft parts delivered to the warehouse, right?
Hmm.
Okay. She does that day in, day out, aircraft parts in the hangar, in the aircraft, whatever, in the warehouse. And then 5 years later, they walk into the warehouse on a Monday morning and there's a roof leak. And so they say, "Hey, Sally, I want you to get us a roofer out here to fix the roof leak." So she puts out a solicitation. But because she's soliciting in the aircraft parts section of sam.gov, or there's, I don't know, 7 other places that these things can show up, she miscategorizes the roofing job. Now, let me ask you a question. If you're a construction guy, are you looking in the construction section of where the federal contracts come out?
Yes,
Not the aircraft parts, because why would you be looking in aircraft parts for a construction job?
correct.
Okay. I've taught, I'm the only person that I'm aware of, and I have yet to have anybody prove me wrong. But understand there's a lot of websites out there that will sell you access to federal contracts for $30 a month or some shit. Okay.
There's a lot. I went through 6 of them before I found you,
Yep.
5 or 6.
Here's the difference, those are put together by web crawlers. Okay. They're going to make the same mistake because it's a computer. BidTrakker is the only system that's put together by real human beings. I have 2 full-time guys that put eyes on everything. BidTrakker is manually put together by 2 people.
It's not API'd in.
No,
Wait a minute. Sam.gov doesn't let you API.
it probably does. But if you do it with an API, BidTrakker is going to be full of aircraft parts jobs. Because
Oh,
how
I
are you going
see.
to make a decision?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That you made a mistake.
That's right. How do you
Yeah,
catch the
yeah, yeah.
mistakes?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
My guys
I
have
got
been
it.
taught to go into 38 different categories because I've targeted 38 different categories where mistakes are common, where construction jobs are put into the cake mix category.
Got it.
Okay. And they go pull those manually and put them in BidTrakker.
Got it. Got it. Got it. Okay.
That means you're going to be lower competition on those particular jobs.
Because no one's looking for them. They don't know they're there. They don't know exists. Got it.
They don't know it exists. That's
Yeah.
the massive difference. And the other part of it is, as a construction guy, if you've got a saw that's only working half the time, what do you do with the saw?
I toss to get a new one.
That's right. Contractors, that's built into us.
Right,
If the shit ain't working right, screw that shit. Let's go use something else.
right.
BidTrakker has to be right 100% of the time. It's the most important thing to me in the whole world. Their whole mission is BidTrakker has to be accurate. I think they've made six. No, I've been contacted 6 times over the last 15 years suggesting there was a mistake in BidTrakker. 3 of the times I was able to show that it was their mistake, not our mistake, user error. But they've made 3 mistakes in 15 years, thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of jobs.
How many people currently use this software?
It's somewhere between 40 and 60. I get a report out every 6 months that tells me who's in, who's out, and somewhere between 40 and 60. It's always
So,
kind of in there.
so
I mean, I've
not
only
that
taught
much.
this. How, that's the thing about the internet. How many clients do you think I've taught this to?
I was thinking like thousands.
Everybody says that.
I don't.
It's less than 150 over the last 15 years. Averages
No
out to about
way.
10 people a year. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
That's insane. I
Just look at my Zoom schedule. Go to GCExperts.com/Zoom and look how many Zooms I'm doing a week.
that's that's great. That's crazy. I mean, I don't know. Um, I I have another guy that you watch the movie War Dogs.
Sure.
So apparently, the guy that the movie is built after, he actually has a
Yeah,
program.
he
Are you
does.
aware?
I am
You
aware.
and they call me nonstop, but it's just a bunch of CDs and
Yeah, it's a bunch
pamphlets.
of sales shit. Yeah,
And I look
it's
through it,
not
I'm
what
like,
this is. Yeah.
yeah, I look through it, I'm like, this is not for me.
Yep.
And they just keep pounding away. So like, there's a lot of those people out there. So I was under the impression, I'm like, this guy's been around for that long. There's got to be thousands of people in here.
Nope.
That's
There might be thousands in that guy's thing, but look, I don't want it to be thousands. Okay. I want to be just like we had that phone call. How long
yeah.
were we on the phone?
I don't know, 2 hours, something like I
Yeah,
lost.
a
I
long
was
time,
driving
right?
around for a while.
Did you
Yeah.
hear me going, on the answering another phone line or even hear a phone ring?
No.
Okay. I don't want to be inundated with thousands of people. I
Yeah.
want,
Yeah.
I'm looking for really smart construction people that really want to get in and do good work for the federal government. Because if you do good work for the federal government, they'll pay you really well.
Right. Right.
I don't want you picking bottom of the barrel subs. I want you calling the local supply house and saying, hey, who goes in there and buys the most plumbing shit all week long? He's in there all the time. Because why is he buying all that plumbing shit?
Because he's doing good work.
That's right. Give me
Yeah.
his phone number. I've got a plumbing job for him.
Yeah. 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 I mean, that's how I usually find all my subs. I go to the local supply house.
I mean, it's certainly a methodology, okay, but
Yeah.
I want the best guy.
Of course. Yeah. Yeah. No, it makes sense. I had a question that just left the tip of my tongue. Oh yeah, this is the other question. So let's say you do a project for a division, like this one in particular, the one I told you about in Mass is the Army base. If
Mhm.
another project comes up, will they reach out to you directly, or it's always a solicitation?
Sometimes it happens on occasion.
Okay,
Okay. We talk about that in depth in the workshop. Day 3 of the
okay.
workshop is purely focused on, well, I don't want to say purely, but a large part of the day is focused on jobs that we knew we were going to be the only bidder and what to do with that information.
How do you know that information? Does it tell you on
I
BidTrakker?
teach you that in the workshop.
Okay, 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 okay. All right. I'm just too excited to get that that type of information, I
Yep.
guess.
Oh,
Okay.
here's one that's going to blow your mind. Listen carefully to this question because most people answer it incorrectly because it's such an odd question. You ready?
Mhm.
Have you ever been paid 100% of your contract, but never did any of the work?
No, I've gotten paid 50% of the contract and didn't have to do the work, but
Didn't do any of the work, nothing, never
that's
went
right.
on
That's
site.
right.
Okay,
Well, it was an insurance job. Building burnt down. We got $120,000 upfront from insurance, and then the homeowner decided he wasn't moving forward, and he sold the property. And the attorney told me we didn't have to return the money
there
by
you go.
law.
Okay. In federal contracting, we've done that many times, and I'm going to teach you specifically what they were, how we did it, and how we got the money.
And you didn't have to return the money?
Nope.
What?
Perfectly legal, perfectly ethical.
Wait a minute. So that means the federal government's just burning money with
Does that
without.
surprise you?
I mean, it doesn't. No, it doesn't surprise me. But that is insane. Does that have to happen often?
Perfectly legal, perfectly ethical. There's certain little things that have to happen, and I teach them in the workshop.
Okay,
But
but does this
at the
happen
end of
often?
at the end of day two, I mean, it happened multiple times in our career, and it's happened multiple times with my clients.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah,
That's kind
that's
of
the
crazy.
greatest thing when I get a phone call from a client and he's explaining to me the situation, and I go, "Hey, read my lips. You're either going to get a big fat change order that's going to make a ton of money, or you're going to get 100% of your contract amount having done none of the work."
That's crazy. That
Yeah.
is absolutely insane.
Yep.
Wow. Um, what can I say? I mean, this is just eye-opening. I'm so glad I stumbled upon this ad. Um, and usually I'm not quick to respond to these things. I'll sign up for them and just kind of go through the process of looking through things. But I feel like this is definitely something that can get me to the next level. Used to have 25 people employed. I'm down to 5 guys. So it's actually a lot less stress. I feel like I'm a lot more in control. And that was the one thing I think that got me was the fact that you said you ran everything with 5 to 6 people.
Yep.
And that's what I want. I want to be able to make the money I make without having to babysit grown men every
Yeah.
day.
No, you won't have to do that. On day two of the workshop, I describe exactly who those six people are. And actually, there's a seventh person that I talk about in the workshop. But the seventh person was a traveling superintendent. And there were certain jobs that we wanted to have our own eyes on. And but anyway, yeah, I described who they were, what their roles were, because like we talked about yesterday, people, processes, and technology, right?
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. So majority of the jobs that you bid, though, you bid them and you just kind of watch it from afar, right?
Correct.
Okay. And you mentioned there's no inspection, which blew my mind.
No, it's not that there's no inspection. It's that there's no state inspector going on to a federal job. What happens is it's a combination of things that happen on a federal contract. Number one, you could have a federal government inspector, and he's just a guy that comes out and makes sure that you're complying with the specifications in the contract. Okay. You could have an administrative inspector, somebody that goes out and says, "Yep, he did it."
That's it?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So, and it's everything in between. Okay. But it's not like somebody coming in there and saying, "You didn't do this to code," or something. It's not like they're throwing a book at you. In
Okay.
fact, on the federal side, remember I talked about the federal acquisition regulations?
Yes, 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 yes.
Everybody thinks of inspectors as coming out and going, "Oh, that guy's going to throw the book at us," right? Cringeworthy, right? On the federal side, we teach you how to throw the book at the government.
Interesting.
We totally flip the script.
Okay.
I'll tell you that. I'll tell you this: of all the different types of construction that there are, city, state, county, residential, you name it, federal. Okay, federal is the most fair out of all of them. It's not
Interesting.
perfect, but it's the most fair out of all of them. And really, isn't that all you want in life in a construction business is things to be fair?
Absolutely. 100%. Yeah.
Then you're in the right place.
Perfect. Get me in. Tag me in, coach. Tag me in. I'm ready to go.
Yeah. All right. Well, like I said, when we get off the Zoom, I'll shoot all that stuff over to you.
Awesome. Thank you very much. I got to run away from my desk for about 2 hours and then I'm coming back to this. And I'll be
All
home
right.
all night. All night. Thank you very much. And thank you for taking the time yesterday. I apologize for jumping off the phone so abruptly.
No, that's okay. Have a good one.
All right. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye bye.